Alright, so we basically put a pastor in his place with God on our side. So let's see how things play out from here. Right. Right. Well, gentlemen, I have to say I didn't expect your conversation with the High Priest to go so smoothly. Oh, I'm terribly exhausted. Why must we take care of these coarse people? Why can't we just shelter those well-off folk like we used to? Dang. Tut-tut and chin up. This is a trial by the god, my brother. But, sir, these people do not respect us. We let them in, yet some went and spit upon our heels for not doing so before. Nah, you had that coming. You had that coming. Absolutely ungrateful. You should learn tolerance. Holy Archives 1527. You won't have great success if you cannot tolerate petty troubles. Petty? These people will go beyond petty. Some even grabbed me by the waist and started feeling up my thigh. And you didn't slap him? I'm pretty sure you didn't slap him? Is that something we must tolerate? Didn't the Holy Archive also say that a man without ethics will not be influenced by manners? I've had enough of this. That sounds excessive. My apologies for not sending enough soldiers to keep things in order. But you know how short we are on manpower. Is there any way we can help? What about Cerkles? I can't heal their manners, if that's what you're asking. But perhaps I can try to ease the fatigue of the acolytes. Astonishing! I feel wide awake. It's like I just had a good night's sleep. Wait, hold on. Doesn't this mean I have to keep working? I was about to end my service for today. Well, that was the point. Sorry if I put a greater burden upon you. Okay, fine. You can have your rest. But be sure to tell the brothers that they can come to the Paragon Cerkles if they need treatment. But... well, I best return to my duties with renewed vigor. This way we can raise the morale of the acolytes. However, Cerkles, I'm sorry to bother you, but I wanted to ask you something. It's okay. How may I help? I know you can do more than just patch up some tired men. There are many injured and ill among the refugees. And so, I can heal them. If that is your wish. That would be excellent. The few healers we have are dedicated to supporting the front line. Medicine is also in short supply. I have concerns regarding the spread of illness amongst the refugees and the rest of the city. The people would be grateful to Lord Makari-Hari if they could witness a miracle for themselves. I see. I know where this is going. Then take me there. I'll give you the miracle you want to see so badly. Uh-oh. Very well, Paragon Cerkles. Please follow me. Something don't seem right. I don't think he's comfortable with doing that. I could be overly concerned, but don't you think Cerkles is acting distant? His brief response tipped me off. I had thought he would be happy to help the sick refugees. Well, obviously, that's his complex. A complex? Over healing people? Oh boy, they're gonna seek him for help all the time, so why even bother learning to do it themselves? And it's gonna be over minor things like a simple scratch. Like, oh no, I fell on my face. Can you heal me? Rooted doubts that are entirely your fault. You are the shepherd who led my lamb astray. My fault? Really? You have yourself to blame. Take responsibility for not being there for once. Don't you dare deny your own influence. You fed his self-doubts and caused so much worry. Fine, but tell me, who kept hiding him from the truth? Who only gave him comforting platitudes without letting the real issues flow? A just God does not give absolute answers to all uncertainties. He provides each mortal the means to become a good man. Oh boy, here we go. How very hypocritical of you. You give absolute answers all the time. Oh, and who cares what you think? So what does Cerkles have a complex over? So what does dog, you scared me. I don't have any treats. Go sit down. So what does Cerkles have a complex over? If he wants to tell you, then one day he will tell you. You should not worry Cerkles by asking him to solve what you could handle by yourselves. Are you not crowned mages? Ah, so in other words... When did I suddenly become the bad guy? At least they're not fighting with each other anymore. No, that'll start up. Gee, thanks. Anyway, the refugees are in the hands of the clergy. We should at least see what they can do. Oh boy. No matter how you cut it, there's not enough food to go around. Not just food. Medical supplies, tents, even water is in short supply. Even with magic on our side, we can't solve all these issues. Lord Suspicious, is the government able to spare Lord Suspicious, is the government able to spare some money to help? I do apologize. Military expenditure has taken much of our reserve funding, so I understand. The clergy will help the refugees to the best of our ability as ordered by our Lord. But I saw the temple spending a lot already. How's the financial situation of the clergy? Huh? We spent how much in one day? Well, I guess we'll be running out soon. You know how expensive the food is nowadays. Well, I'm not surprised. Then how else can we get Monera and resources for these people? How about a fundraiser involving the nobles? A fundraiser? It is a common practice when the temple runs low on funds. As we have the Paragon Cerkles here, I don't think it would be difficult to force those nobles to pay up. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody would be like, yes, make the rich pay. I feel like there's a bad thing to that though too. Right. Then should we consider this an option? No, there's no way I will accept Monera from the nobles. I will not consider it. There it is. Why? My problem is that once you take funds from those nobles, they get to tell you what to do with the refugees. There you go. There it is. And what is wrong with that? Yeah, I'm kind of on Mukaki's side for this one. I'm sorry. I'm already on Mukaki's side for this. He's already given a good point. The nobles are partly responsible for the situation in the first place. What if they want to have a say in every decision made? What if they want to kick their sorry asses back out of the city again? What if they desire the little resources we have spent on them first? It is their Monera, after all. He's driving a good point. A very good point. I still fail to see the real problem that isn't based on hypotheticals. All of it is the problem. Are you helping the refugees or are you helping the nobles? I don't think you need to draw a border between them in the first place. Are you out of your mind? Nobles get off on power. As soon as they get an excuse to interfere, they'll do exactly what they want. having power leads to responsibility. Should those powerful and responsible not have their say in managing the refugee crisis? Even though they may ask for priority, how can you abandon the power you need to keep order? And you must always imply that the nobles are inherently bad people. Look, I'm pretty sure that anybody watching this video and anybody that I show this set of screenshots to will be like, eat the rich. I'm pretty sure that's what they'll go. I'm trying to see the middle ground here, but I'm having a difficult time with it. Because most of them are born into their wealth. And society was designed by their ancestors to ensure stable economic classes. That power and responsibility may only be available to them and their relatives. It's not that all nobles are bad people, only that the selfish and opportunistic can be found anywhere you look. By giving them power, you give those few the opportunity they desire. I'm sorry to interrupt. What does Makari want to do if we're not going to fundraise from the nobles? How hard can it be? You only need resources, right? Why don't you just go ask for what you need? Huh? Elaborate. Ask for resources? Ask for resources? Yes, go to the civilians. No matter if you need tents or pots, you can always find people who will make them. Then how do you pay them? Oh. There's our problem. Why do we need to pay them when we can assure their safety? This is war. Money is worthless. Its key is to help each other and share our resources. Oh boy. I highly doubt ordinary people can understand this. Oh boy. Then it's up to our seal custodians to convince them, is it not? Oh, they just oh wow, they just turned it on us. You really do desire to be the contrarian. Even though the economy may collapse during times of war, I believe we are far, far away from convincing an entire city to reject the structure of haves and have-nots they are accustomed to. And if it really comes to that point, it would be the government's responsibility to maintain the circulation of resources. What's the problem with giving the nobles a small bit of power over their lives? Because the regular folk would have no way to oppose them. On the other hand, it's rather easy to stop a few miscreants among the civilians. Checks and balances, don't you know? But the crux of the issue is that the temple has too little funding and resources. If the clergy can increase their financial power, then there would be nothing to worry about in the first place. Really? You saw the high priest when nobody was around to rein him in. Yet you believe there's no problem in letting the clergy have more power? that would be the fault of the individuals, not the system. There are always problems with all people. Okay. My head is spinning. Aren't we taking this a bit too far? We just need to decide if we're going to hold a fundraiser. Just go seek resources from the civilians. Do it the proper way and raise funds. To clarify, whichever route we take, we still require the assistance of the clergy, correct? Not necessarily. But you will need manpower. You can't get it done with only you two. Then, shall we? Do it the old school way and see who can convince the most. So be it. Which side do you vie for, Vitus? Let me think. Oh boy. I'm kind of on Mukaki's side for this one, but at the same time, Makari-Hari threw out a good rebuttal. Like, towards the end there. We don't want to give those in power an inch. You don't want to give the people, I don't want to give the nobles an inch. Or I don't want to give them reason to be like, hey, this is what you should be spending the money on. At the same time, I don't know what would be easier? Thoughts here. Let's see. You don't really want to give the nobles an inch, because they'll just take it. But at the same time, it's not the nobles' money anymore after that. They gave the money to the clergy, so it's up to the clergy to decide what happens to the money. If they don't like it, too bad. They shouldn't have given them money. Being honest, as long as our priest here makes it clear where that money is going, and what it's being spent on, then there should be no problem. Right? But again, you don't want to give those guys an inch, because they could just take advantage and say like, well, it's my money, I paid. I feel like that's gonna happen anyway. They're already complaining at this point. Alright. But, you know, if the people can help, then let's give them a chance to do so. This might help the lower class in the long run. All right, let's gather the Alkanites. They shall be here in a moment. I wouldn't have worded it like that. But hey, convince the refugees to start helping. You know? Alright. I have invited all the available acolytes here. Very well, let us begin. You look very refreshed. I want to get this over with and get back to business. If we must ask them to decide what to do next, there's no point in delaying. This is a matter of principle. Certainly, if your principle is making irrevocable mistakes as quickly as possible, that is. I think you're taking this too seriously. After all, there's no reason that... No point in talking. Let us begin. I won't falter. Alright, let's see. I'm good. Let's see what we can do here. I think this is our best starter. Alright. We should not allow those who have power to continue to amplify it, especially over refugees in need. Relying on the nobles' funds will give them the right to dictate the treatment of the refugees for better and, more importantly, worse. So the nobles are the only ones who look down upon the refugees. The civilians are harder done The civilians are harder done by and have little spare to give. If there's a dispute between the refugees and the civilians, only the nobles have the power to stop that. Alright. He's gonna Makari-Hari? Already? Oh, he must have some spell cover. Oh, shit. Oh boy, he's going for a big move. I have no point in changing hands with him. Yeah. Screw your idealistic notions. The nobles are as self-serving as anyone else. If the nobles step out of line, then it is the duty of the government to educate them. Such rubbish. The government is, repeat after me, as self-serving as anyone else. Therefore, we can't expect the nobles to do the right thing, especially in this time of conflict. Reluctantly, I must agree. Well, some nobles are far better than others. Don't fret. I did not take your words personally. Every man has their own standards, noble or otherwise. Therefore, you should stop judging the book by its cover. Not all nobles are as bad as they say they are. But some are, and the refugees are powerless against them. This is a matter of life and death for some. Alright. Well, he's got a massive amount of energy. Wait, did he just end his turn? He ended his turn on nothing? Why? What are you plotting? No, did he just take energy from me? Not in the desperation phase right now. It's best I have it as a just in case. I'll end my turn on this. Pardon me, gentlemen. As interesting as your discussion is, may I suggest we ascertain what the majority of the acolytes wish to do? And then what? Make the same mistake again and again? Indeed. I won't compromise my principles just because it's not helpful to your argument. I'm glad the governor can't hear them. On that point alone, I agree. On that point no point. But I'm at least forcing him to play some. He's gonna go do a huge play though. And it's gonna hurt. No, don't do that. He's gonna do a big play. Yep. Yep. All right. You have 5 cards in hand. Let's do this then. 1, 2, 3. Let's do that. If I swapped in this card, Let's do this instead. See. There we go. He's very careful of his energy use. No, he's not. So, give one energy. Do it in this order. Alright, let's see what I can do here. I know I'm giving them disparity. Yeah, I gave him disparity. So he's gonna recover. Right. They're all on cooldown. Well, if anything, it's a chance for me to take some cards. Now then, Acolytes, your autonomy is better protected by relying upon the civilians, and charming them to donate is a good way to boost your reputation. I don't agree. I don't agree. You're beginning to sound like Zermes, for one. Funny, I'm using Zermes. That's not what I meant! Fine by me. Didn't attack. Huh. Alright then. It seems that the Acolytes have agreed with me. And I concede. We both did well. Both our stances were evenly matched. You passed your turn for whatever God-given reason. I don't know why. Are we just going to watch this demon mislead the world? Ha! I could say the same to you. So we are to solicit resources and talents from the civilians? I will do my best to help, but there may not be much I can do. No worry, it's a volunteer thing in the first place. We will try our best with Cerkles. This will be a new experience for me. Hey, Vitus, don't you think we could collect donations and fundraise from the nobles at the same time? As I see it, Mukaki's concern is that the nobles will take this chance to control the clergy. But if we also collect some resources from the civilians, we can make it out to be a joint effort. That would work if both the nobles and the civilians contribute evenly. A fair point, but it isn't that simple. Holy Archive 712, if you know a path towards wealth, you should not hesitate to move forward. Monera is still important in most people's eyes. That explains a lot. But I'm overwhelmingly experienced in dealing with nobles. You can count on me. Is that so? And I will leave the banquet to you and Volsus. Got it. Take care, Vitus. Okay. I think that ends the chapter, so let's call it here. Yep. And hey, we got a new interlude. It's time to take a break and let the troubles of the outside world fade away. Let me know if there's anything you wanted to talk about, Vitus. Regardless, I'm more than happy to just spend time with you. Suspicious showed up today. Is that really him? Is that really him? No, I think it is. Suspicious. It's us. Vitus, Volsus. We haven't seen you here in ages. We almost thought you had stopped coming. Surely it hasn't been that long. It has been at least 2 weeks since we saw you here. That's strange. I must be losing track of time. There's always another meeting to attend, or new damage to survey. It seems as though the moment we fix one problem, another arises. That is the impression I have at Arenopolis, too. I had only ever heard bad things about this city before I was assigned to this post. I don't mean any disrespect when I say this. But didn't you tell us before that this was your first time governing the city? Yes. So the best thing for this city would have been to pick a seasoned leader to handle the dysfunction at this scale. Easy, Volsus. I don't take any offense, Vitus. Volsus is just pointing out something that he's figured out on his own. Truth be told, the Senate considered it lost already. There are few economic resources found or produced here, and the location isn't a strategic battleground in the war. The country would be affected very little if the whole city was lost, save some ease of access to specific trade routes. So, who in the Senate hates you? Now, there's some bluntness I can appreciate. To reply in kind, it was both a powerful lobbyist and the young censor who sent me here. They have notorious disagreements, but my stationing here was one of the few things they could agree on. I can tell that the lobbyists hold resentment towards me, but the censor is much harder for me to read. There is a bit of mystery to the decisions that he makes, but his efficacy in the government is undeniable. I am fairly certain that both parties expected me to fail, and I accepted the position because I am stubborn and wanted to prove them wrong. But unfortunately, I think they had the right idea about me. I am ill-prepared for a task on this scale. With every opportunity I receive to learn governance from failure, the city falls closer and closer to total collapse. The more equipped I become to handle the conditions of inner polis, the later the hour grows. The only thing that started turning my luck around was meeting the both of you gentlemen. Miracle workers by no exaggeration. The heroes are the ones doing everything, not us. But you command them. And you both have good heads on your shoulders, despite no formal training. If that's the case, then you deserve credit too. You had the eye to spot what we were. Being at the right place at the right time is luck, true, but the leader puts his faith in the right people. Very humble to call ourselves the right people. Credit must be taken where credit is due. And I'm very grateful for what you've all done for me. I know we're not done with our work, but the people of this city owe you both their lives. But I'm afraid I have something selfish to admit. No? You don't strike me as the selfish type. But aren't all noblemen to some degree? This is certainly a problem of pride. But I resent the fact that I wasn't skilled enough to save this city without extraordinary intervention. Perhaps it is arrogant of me to think that anything other than miracles could save this place. But still, one likes to think we can change the world with our own hands. Not with the hands of the immortal. Ain't that the truth? Nor the divine. It's hard to believe in the notion of ambition when we are nothing in the scope of all things. But ambition is what drives me to want to do great things. And I would like to believe that I can still be ambitious. And that my choices and my actions can in fact change. So I don't know what I'll do once my time here is up. Other than I cannot say. There's something for me in the capital still. There's more that I have to learn there. I just hope I won't have to rely on miracles to do the right thing. I'm sorry that your pride is wounded. But I'm glad you'll live another day with wounded pride because of our interference. Could have worded that better. I feel the same way. We all deserve the chance to grow. And we're learning together because we met each other. Miracles or no, we had made the same choices. And we choose to help you every time. Thank you, friends. I do not think I deserve this generosity. We're just repaying the generosity that you gave us. We lost our home. We had no Monero when we first set out. Seeking the city is making me understand a little too quickly just how lucky we were between meeting you and the gods and the heroes. Stop it at once. You are both far too nice, and I'm already a sentimental man. We know. In part, that's what we like about you. And now you're both heaping on nice things to say about me? This is just too much. You know, we can stop if you want us to. Well, I didn't say that. Wow, that one was deep. That one was deep. That one was rather deep. That's all I could say.